So welcome once again to another fascinating math video. Now we shall be considering a problem from trigonometry. But before we go over to the solution of the problem on the board, I'd like to inform you that I render an online math tutoring service both for the primary level, secondary level, and even to the college level. So if you're in need of this service, consider me as a qualified candidate having a practical teaching experience which spans over a decade, tutoring various students. All right, so be very free to get to me if you want my service. So let's quickly look at the problem on the board. Here we are required to prove that a minus b over a plus b is equals to the tangent of the half of the angle a minus b over the tangent of the half of the sum of a and b. All right? So we have to prove this left-hand side to be equal to this. Now, when carrying out proof in mathematics, you don't do that by trial and error. You are deliberate on every step you take. All right, now let us do a little reasoning. If you observe this a, you see this lowercase a and lowercase b, they are different from this uppercase a and b. All right, because this one stands for length. All right, this is length, but this is an angle. So this one here is not an angle, but this within the parenthesis, that is the argument, it is an angle. So the question now is, where is a normal number coming into play? Where is it coming from? We have to ask that question. Now, you shall recall that the sine rule states that, let's write proof first. The sine rule states that a lowercase a over the sine of the angle A is equals to lowercase b over the sine of the angle B, and this is equals to lowercase c over sine of the angle C. Record this. Now, if you observe carefully, this lowercase a, which is the size or length, as we may say, is already appearing in our system of things. So let's take this first equation. Let's take this equation separately. Now we shall have a over the sine of a to be equals to b over the sine of b. Can you see that? Now from whence we can make a the subject of the formula. So if we do that, we shall have a to be equal to b sine of a over the sine of b. Can you see that? All right, so we can now form expressions such as a minus b and a plus b. So let's form these expressions now from what we've established. So we shall now have that a minus b is equal to writing a minus, all right, that's a minus b. So sorry for this, let us, rather, instead of making a the subject of the formula, let us make b the subject. So in doing so, I will remove this from the board. Let's make b the subject of the formula rather, all right? Reason being that we have a as the first subtrahend, all right? So we have to make an expression for b. Can you see that? So in this case, we have it as b equals to a sine of b over sine of a. How this will be the right expression for b. So that means that a minus b cannot be written as a minus. Instead of b, we shall write this expression, which is a sine of b over sine of a. Can you see that? Now, let us factor out a. What is common here? A is common here. So if you bring it out, we have it as a bracket 1 minus sine of a, sine of b rather, over sine of a, which can be further written as a bracket sine of a minus sine of b, or divided by sine of a. Can you see that? This is just a normal fraction, all right? So we have a minus b to be equal to this. Now, the same way, we shall form expression for a plus b. Why? Because at the denominator here, we have our expression a plus b. So in this case, we have it as a plus b equal to a plus. Instead of b, we shall write our expression for b, which is a sine of b over sine of a. So here we have a sine of b over sine of a, all right? So in factoring, what is common here is common. So we can factor out our common term. So we have a brackets 1 plus sine of b divided by sine of a. From whence this can be written as sine of a plus sine of b over the sine of a. Can you see that? All right. So if you sound interesting, please do me the favor to like the video, share the video, and make your comments. All right. Don't forget my services I introduced to you earlier on. If you're in need of my services, be very free to get to me, and you shall smile at the end of every meeting we shall have. All right? So we now have this as a result. So what we shall do now, we shall now form this quotient. All right? So we now have it as A minus B divided by A plus B to be equals to, in place of A minus B, we have the result as A bracket sine of A minus sine of B over sine of A. They're all divided. They're the same thing here. We have A bracket sine of A plus sine of B over sine of A. All right? So this A will divide us with this, and also this sine of A will divide us with this. So we're left with the result, which is sine of A minus sine of B over sine of A plus sine of B. Can you see that? Now, this is a very critical stage. Now, we want to prove that A minus B over A plus B is this. Then what we have at hand is sine of A minus sine of B divided by sine of A plus sine of B. How do we unravel the mystery, that is a tangent that is hidden here? How do we unravel it? Now, we shall make use of the sine of two angles. All right? That is the difference of two sines, rather. The difference of two sines. There's a formula for it. Let me say the formula quickly. So I will erase this from the board in order to place it here. Now recall that if we have the sine of x minus the sine of y, this can be written as 2 cosine of half s plus y sine of half of x minus y. Can you see that? This is a formula. You have to copy it. If I do a copy of it, if you don't know, if this is the first time you have seen it, I advise you to do a copy of it. The same thing, similarly, the sine of A plus sine of B can be written as, so we can have sine of x plus sine of y. This is equal to 2, or the sine of half of x plus y, or cosine of half of s minus y. Can you see that? So with these two results, we shall replace this denominator, numerator and denominator. So we can, therefore, we now have, therefore, A minus B over A plus B, this can be written. In place of this sine of A minus sine of B, we can represent this by the product version. This is a product version, all right? So in this case, we shall have 2 cosine of half. Instead of x plus y, we shall have what there? A plus B, right? Then the same thing goes here. Half A minus B. Can you see that? All right. All divided. The same thing goes here. So we have it as 2 sine of half of A plus B, or cosine of half, rather, of A minus B. So from whence these two, we cancel out with these two. Now, on proper arrangement, this over here, this cosine of A, first of all, observe that sine of half of A minus B over cosine of half of A minus, cosine of half of A minus B can be written as tangent of half of A minus B. Remember, from trigonometry, quickly recall that tangent, tan theta, is equals to sine of theta, or divided by cosine of theta. All right? So if you follow this form, we can replace these two results. That is, this divided by this, we can replace it by tangent. So in this case, we have the final result for these two expressions. We have it as the tangent of half. Or before we do that, to avoid confusion, we can write this expression here as sine of half of A minus B, all right, over the cosine of half of A minus B, or divided by the sine of half of A plus B, or divided by the cosine of half of A plus B. Can you see that? Yes. This expression you see here, we can write it in this format. Because if you manipulate it, you will get back this entire expression again. So these two are the same thing. Now, from what I said, that tan of theta is equal to sine of theta over cosine of theta. So we can replace these two expressions by writing, in place of this numerator, we put what there? We put tan of half of A minus B, all right? Or divided, then in place of this man, we put tangent of half of A plus B. So we see we're able to prove that A minus B over A plus B is indeed equal to this expression. All right, so we've come to the end of this fascinating math video. If you draw any value from this video, do me the favor to like, share, and make your comments. And don't forget that I offer a private online math tutoring service, both for secondary levels, primary level, college level, and even for schools. So if you have a school and you want me to be a math tutor in your school online, be very free to get to me because I have a practical teaching experience which spans over a decade. Thank you very much. Till we meet again.